Can I try blowing into the headphone? Yeah. Um, I put it as my fancy mic. Maybe I'll just do this with my headphones out. Since I'm not really talking to anyone anyway. Is that better? Is this better? Is it? Everything now show? I hope you guys are having a good Friday. I am having a good Friday. Thank you, Jimmy Jam. It's very sunny out and it's very hot, which makes it very difficult to be inside all day. So, good thing we have a patio. It sounds loud enough, just sort of tinny, but totally listenable. That might just be my voice. IDK LOL. All my levels look good. I'm using OBS for the first time. Maybe I'm just not talking loud enough. I'm using OBS for the first time, and it's very interesting because we normally stream, I think, as everyone knows by now, is we use vMix, which apparently no one else in the world uses, but we do, so that's fun. Yeah, gotta make that patio money, huh? Nice, exactly. So we can buy nice patio furniture, so that I can lay out and hang out in our backyard. So how I usually do, where did my thing go? How I usually do patterns, or how I usually start embroideries, is I will completely rip something off from the internet, which is very fun. And by that I mean I took the Bang Bang Bar sign from the show, the actual show. I got a very high res image and I copied the pattern, and then you put it onto fabric by using one of these very shitty transfer markers. And so I know a lot of people who actually do embroidery for a living are very fancy, and they have they'll have whole setups and desks and projection screens and everything so that they can transfer images very quickly, but I do not. So how I make it work is I taped my stencil up to a window, and then I held my embroidery up to the window and I traced it onto the paper because I am here for a good time, not a long time, and now my arms really hurt. Actually, I probably am here for a long time because it took for fucking ever. So I was supposed to have this done before I started streaming, but I did not, so there's no rules. You guys are just gonna have to deal with it. So I'm finalizing the bar part of Bang Bang Bar, and then I will start stitching, and that's gonna be very fun. It's very exciting. And if you guys want to talk to me about anything, that's fine too. Or we can just be quiet. It's nice to sit in silence with your friends every once in a while. I'm bummed if this fancy ass microphone isn't working the way it's supposed to. And believe it or not, I am not a very tech savvy person. I like to think that I know how to use things, and then when I joined the show, I very quickly realized I don't know a whole lot about computers. Isn't that fun? But learning all the time, and Rocky and Jake are super good, and Alex and Chris are super good and getting better. That getting better is directed towards Chris at engineering and building the virtual sets and everything, and that's fun, and it's been fun to learn that, so I'm excited. Yep, I'm getting the bar to, trying to get the bar to come through so I can trace it on the front. Am I supposed to fill time? Am I supposed to do the talking? Bella's great at that. Bella's very good at Yellow Spoon Girl is very good at talking about everything that comes onto her mind, but I am not. You don't know a lot about me, and that's on purpose. I feel like I'm the Everything Now cast member that has done, who has the least connection with the audience, which makes me sad. Because I love our audience, and I want to get to know everyone better. Everyone's really fun in the Discord. But we're mostly just doing bits in there. Okay. I got that. And I'm working on the R. In bar. What have I been doing in quarantine? What have you guys been doing in quarantine? Anything? Anything at all? I'm checking because I traced it on the back, but it didn't transfer to the front as nicely, so I'm holding it up to the light so I can kind of see where my letters are and then trace them out a little better. Because I cannot do anything by freehand. I am not one of those gifted people who can be good at everything. OMG, is this a clone of Katharine Hepburn? I wish. I feel like you maybe follow me on Twitter because I would love to be Katharine Hepburn in any movie, or just be her. I know she's dead, but that could be cool to be dead as Katharine Hepburn. And hi, Kevin. And did we determine if your name is Kevin Mountain Man or what MTM stands for? Is it like manages time manly? Because that could be it. But you're gifted at so many things. That's just my... Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, last letter, and then I can start stitching this. Again, I apologize. I was supposed to... I fully intended on having this done before I started streaming. But... C'est la vie. And everyone else was streaming by themselves, so I felt like I had to. And they were nice enough to send me a super nice microphone while I'm quarantined, but apparently it's not working right. But that's okay. We're just hanging. What's going on? Hi, Stedio. I'm embroidering, hence Stitch on Twitch. So I've been watching a ton of Twin Peaks, so I decided to make a Bang Bang Bar embroidery because I really love the neon in that show, and I really love this sign, and I really like all the weird shit that happens in that bar. So that's fun. Oh, manages time manly. So many acronyms are possible. It's actually the name of my little freelance video production company. It stands for Movies That Matter. That's awesome. What's a project that you're very proud of? If you don't want to dox yourself, that's fine. You can just give me the subject matter, but that's super awesome. I did not know that about you. Okay. All right. Last letter. And these markers don't work the way they should. You'd think if you could just like write one line and it would go, but it doesn't. You have to kind of go over it several times. And it's washable. That's why you use it. So you trace out your thing, you stitch it up, and then you get the whole thing wet, and the blue ink disappears, which is very nice. So that you can have good clean lines, good clean fun. And if you're gifting it to someone, then it doesn't look like absolute garbage. I did a documentary on a young man who broke his neck snowboarding, and it was about his journey after that, and most part of that. That's awesome. Did he fully recover? I know I actually went to school to be a physical therapist, so I would be very interested in watching that and his recovery process. Oh, hey, a day stream. Hey, Show and Tell Live. It's just me. It's Sydney from the Everything Now show. I don't know if you knew that. We're just doing individual streams in quarantine to kind of entertain ourselves and work on things. And I know that Rocky is working on Photoshop and I today am working on an embroidery that I've been wanting to make for a hot minute. I've been watching a lot of Twin Peaks, so I'm doing a Bang Bang Bar embroidery. Ta-da! And now I'm going to start it because I finally got all the ink where I can see it visibly. Yeah, we're in a similar place. Haha. I can only imagine. And isn't it weird to do improv over video because with weird tech delays and sound delays and everything, it's super fun for timing, which is arguably the most important thing in doing live comedy. And to have none of it because of all the delays with audio and visual, super fun. I'm using what I will call Black Lodge red. Because of the curtains in the Black Lodge. Again, we don't have to talk about Twin Peaks, but should we? He almost did, and yes, you would love the doc because there's lots of physio in it. Sick. He almost recovered, but sadly fell into a nasty drug addiction. I ended up being his primary caregiver for a time, and then shifted careers to become a caregiver, and I've been doing that ever since. Kevin, you are managing your time manly. That's great. That's phenomenal. And what it probably means to that person to have you there and to tell their story. So I admire you. That's wonderful. And then I put the thread in my mouth. And I'm the only one touching this thread, so that's fine. And I grab one of my needles. Do you see it? Do the thing that like the YouTube makeup people do. Like, yes? Mm? Is it possible to stream Twin Peaks while doing this? I like the episodes I've seen, but I've never finished the series. I actually don't know if that's allowed. I also wouldn't have the first idea how to do that. I am streaming off of a very crappy MacBook Air that doesn't have a DVD player on it, and which I never thought I would need, but now I'm trying to watch season 3 and it's on Showtime, which I'm too cheap to pay for. So, but don't worry, I got a plug. Okay, so then you thread your needle. Woohoo! Do you feel like the reboot was just for fan service that ultimately isolated a large group of fans, or do you think it was a fun curiosity to revisit the Twin Peaks universe? I'm gonna have to say both, my pal. Also, Yarp the Squirrel, welcome. I've never seen your name in our show chat before, so happy to have you. Get that 30-day free trial of Showtime. Exactly. And I tie a little knot on the end, and then here we go. Okay. Yarp the Squirrel. So I think both. I'm more than halfway through with season 3. So I got through that episode 8, which is just absolutely freaking nonsense with the bugs that crawl into the people's mouths and the I am the water, I am the well. I got through all of that. And I love that they used as much of the original cast as they possibly could. That was very much a fan service to, have all the original people. I love that Hawk got another earring. That's my favorite part of the show so far. And, but so far I'm not exactly enthralled with season 3. It's lynchy, which is great, but, it's not exactly like servicing the town of Twin Peaks or like the story at all. And I hate the Tammy, the FBI agent Tammy, but I do love that you get to see Diane, and I do love that it's played by I was gonna say Lena Dunham. That's not right. What's her name? Who was in Jurassic Park and who played one of the moms in freaking, God, my memory is just horrible. Laura Dern, thank you so much for letting me struggle. So I love that, like, Diane's in there and it's played by Laura Dern. I love all the weird famous people that got to be in it. I loved that David Bowie was in Fire Walk with Me for like 1 minute. That was my favorite part of the movie. Oh, and I've also seen Fire Walk with Me, so I love the first season, love the second season, and then I watched Fire Walk with Me, which I was like, this is great, because it was more of a horror movie than anything. And I think horror's awesome. because horror and comedy, I think, are very closely linked. That's why Jordan Peele is an amazing horror writer. Why is my email keep popping up? But yeah. I was thoroughly enjoying it up to season 3 also. Yeah, it left a bitter taste in my mouth. I get that. I would agree with you, but I'm in this deep so far, so I gotta finish it just to say that I did. But I really loved the original series. And again, it's my first time watching it because I'm years behind on most television and film. But this has been a really great time to kind of catch up on some of that stuff. I was going to call this Fire Talk with Me, and then this stream Fire Talk with Me, but then I realized that there is a very funny lady who does a fireside chat, like fireside talk with me on Twitch, and she's very funny, and so I didn't want to steal her thunder, because no one has original thought, so, you know. And we get in the threads in here. And this is how it looks so far. Great! Oh, I also have my damn fine cup of iced coffee with me, so that's fun. I have a friend who told me they watched Twin Peaks all through college, and they would just drink coffee and eat pie while watching it, which I think is a great way. I'm a big fan of anything that's ritualistic, so I like the idea of college-aged men sitting down and watching Twin Peaks with pie and coffee. That made me very happy. You know? David Bowie is actually an intriguing actor. I wish he did more. Well, he's dead now, so he can't, unless you do that fun, kooky, crazy holograph thing, which is horrible. Also, I don't know where the chat disappeared, but I can still see you guys. Would you believe you've never dove into Twin Peaks yet? No, I mean, I believe you. I'm 26 and I hadn't, oh, I'm just doxing my age, sorry. I hadn't started it until this year, until quarantine really, because I was like, all right, it's time. Anyone have thoughts on David Byrne's SNL performance from a month or two ago? And yes, I wish he had done more. Me too. I was a big Bowie fan. Bowie was probably the first classic rock I ever listened to, because my brothers, I have two older brothers, and they were like, you gotta listen to this, when I was probably 7 or 8, and they played me Changes, and I was like, whoa, this is music. So that kind of began a lifelong love of David Bowie. And little Musing Nate, I haven't seen David Byrne's SNL performance from a month or two ago. I do love David Byrne and Talking Heads a lot though. So my dream is to have a big suit party, and everyone who comes to the party has to be wearing a big suit. And then we put Stop Making Sense on in the background, and we all just dance around like David Byrne. That is my dream party. So, hopefully that happens one day for me, because I would really love if that happened for me. I saw his reality tour in 2004, just months before he had his heart troubles, and never toured again. I feel very lucky. You are incredibly lucky. I also think Black Star is crazy, because if you listen to that album, you're like, oh, he knew he was dying the whole time, so this was his goodbye, and that's a crazy thing to think about, documenting your death and having that be available to the public. I think musicians are the bravest people, because comedy, like, yeah, you go up on stage in front of people, whatever, you say a dumb joke. Musicians, you're actually writing stuff that you care about, or the good ones do at least, and you're writing all of your personal feelings. And then you put it out into the world so that some, like, idiot can listen to it and be like, actually, I don't think that's very good. And you're like, oh, that's my diary that I set to music, and now I have someone named Chad telling me it's not good. Oh, fuck. What, like, artists are the bravest people. If you probably can't tell, that thought terrifies me. Being authentic? Telling the truth about yourself? Cool. Coming around. And for any embroidery heads in the audience, I'm just doing a simple back stitch, which is the easiest stitch you can do in embroidery, because I want it to be that way. I got into David Bowie after listening to the full Black Star album, so it was a huge bummer. Oh, man. Yeah, but there's so much. I love if you haven't listened to it, the David Bowie album Station to Station is great because he said in an interview that he doesn't remember making it because he was on so much cocaine. So that album is just like freaking wacky, but it's great. So you should listen to Station to Station. It's a very short album, and I think it's from the late. I think it's from the 70s, which is 10 years, so that could be anywhere. I would think that good comedians are putting what matters out to them as well. It's very much them just in the art form. That's true. Because you're writing jokes and you're like, this is what I think is funny. So that's brave in its own sense. And I mean, there are comedians who are more vulnerable. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen Neil Brennan's Three Mics, but that's an amazing special. Neil Brennan is just next level when it comes to comedy, but he has 3 mics on stage for his special, and one mic is for one-liners. So he'll go up to the mic and he'll just, rattle off one-liners that he's written. And then there's a mic in the middle of the stage, and when he goes to the mic that's in the middle of the stage, he tells more like anecdotal jokes. So, jokes that are winding and long. And then the third mic is just for like personal confessions and personal stuff. So he'll go over to the third mic and he'll like talk about how his dad died and and it's not funny. He's just telling personal stories. And I thought that was a really genius take on stand-up. I really just like anyone who plays with the stand-up form, because getting up there and telling jokes can get boring. If you've ever heard the last podcast on the left, they've got a great older episode about David Bowie. Reportedly, he lived off cocaine, peppers, and milk for something like 2 years. That's how he stayed the thin white Duke, baby. That's a cocaine diet if I've ever heard it. But I've never listened to last podcast on the left, but everyone talks about it, so I think I should. I would have watched him do that for like 5 hours. Missed out on a lot because I feel it was so condensed. True. Wow, who is that comedian again? Neil Brennan. And Neil Brennan has written for everyone, for everything. He's great. And he's a cool dude with cool glasses. So there you go. And his special 3 mics is on Netflix, so you guys can catch that. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, the stand-up form. Yeah. I like Bo Burnham a lot for that reason too, because I think he does honest and weird and wacky musical improv, which I'm a big fan of. So that's just me. Cool, thanks. I'll check it out. Cool glasses too. I'm sold. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to impress me. Like, you got a cool jacket on. Like, I'm already on your team, buddy. I'm already on your team. I'm an easy laugh. I like that about myself, actually, because I don't think it's any fun when you're at a show or something and no one laughs because they're like, you really have to work to impress me or make me laugh. It's like, that's stupid. Like, I'll laugh at anything because I just want to support the people who are getting up there. That's usually my very loud cackle and howl during Everything Now live. You'll hear me off stage because I can't keep my shit together because Alex will have done something or put on a wig. It's that easy sometimes. I feel like Bo Burnham has more of a performance artist than a comedian. That's a really good point. Still brilliant, but I feel like he's moving farther and farther away from stand-up. Absolutely. He is, for sure. And him dipping his toe into the screenwriting with, I thought 8th Grade was great because he was a kid who grew up on the internet, got super famous on YouTube before performing live or anything. I remember having songs from his first album, I'm Bo-Yo, on my like iPod Touch. I got to see I'm fortunate enough that I bought tickets sometime. I saw both of his specials live, and then watching them on Netflix always makes me very happy. I like that sketch where you were the office lady talking on the phone. It was like a high-rise building. That role seemed to work for me somehow. Is it Kat? Is it the mom who works in the call center? I do a lot of mom voices, I feel like, because I love a good like transatlantic accent. Aloha, everyone. Hopefully this will raise everyone's spirits. If you could travel anywhere after this whole pandemic for 1 day, 1 week, and then 1 month, what are the 3 places everyone would pick? That's a good question. And hi, 1-800-ANDY. Haven't seen you in here before. Welcome, welcome. I'm just doing some embroidery. I'm almost done with the tea. I feel like that episode of SpongeBob where he starts writing the essay. Um, okay, for one day, I would like to go to. Hmm. Okay, let's start 1 month because I currently think I might, once travel is safe again, I think I'm gonna bail to Europe for a month and see everything and do everything. Probably go to Greece first. That would be very fun. For 1 week, I'd love to go back to the national parks. I am a big camper, hiker, climber, cyclist person. I'm the jock of the Everything Now show, and I wear that title proudly. And I have a national parks pass, but everything's closed right now, and I'm also trying to be respectful and not go to the national parks because a lot of people are, and it's like effing them up. So I'd love to go probably on like a week long road trip around national parks that are here and close because I miss being outside. And for one day, I'd like to go to a grocery store without a mask on for a day. That's my one day. Sound good? If the one day allows a hangover layover, I'd do Prague. But you don't need to do everything in the UK. You got the Everything Now show. That's true. I could just live stream my travels. Okay, guess what? The tea is done. So the Bang Bang bar, off to a fantastic start. I also really hope I have enough thread for this. 1 week safari in Africa, 1 month in Vietnam. That's awesome. Why Vietnam, Yark the Squirrel? I just like to hear people's reasons. I love hearing that people go someplace just because they saw like an Anthony Bourdain episode about it. R.I.P. Tony. One day, Mothman Museum in West Virginia. I'm gonna look that up. 1 week, Reykjavik. Yeah, Iceland is the most effed up place I have ever been. I recommend going there for like 2 weeks. So you can drive around the island in that time. It's a little rushed, but that's fun. Reykjavik 1 month, and then Helsinki. That's great. Never been there. Even something like getting new thread these days can seem like a challenge. Yeah, seriously. I'm worried I'm gonna run out of it. So, Yarp the Squirrel. Love the food. Love the idea of unspoiled nature. And I've already done Thailand, Oz, Iceland, BC, and Costa Rica. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm itching to go to Vietnam. I would really like to go. I went to Thailand over Thanksgiving, and we did Bangkok for a few days, and then we went to Koh Lanta, which is an island in the Krabi province, and that was really, really beautiful. So I love Thailand as well. Iceland, again, insane. Never been to Australia. My name is Sydney, though, and everyone's like, what? You gotta go. Your name's Sydney, but no one offers to pay for it, which is honestly very rude to me because people keep telling me I have to go, but they won't pay for it. And Costa Rica, that's great. Islandy. All great answers. My choices would be one day the Amazon, like the Amazon warehouse or the Amazon jungle. 1 week, India. Fantastic. 1 month around the Mediterranean Sea, visiting the coastal cities and towns, exploring their ancient ruins. Highly recommend. Do all of that. That sounds amazing. Yes, Anthony. Yeah, I one of my favorite things to do is when I decide I'm going somewhere is to watch a Bourdain episode about it. He was so good with people, and he really had a respect for everyone. What a cool dude. Do you still want to do physio, or did you leave that to do performance work? I have always been a performer. My family's very silly. I have two older brothers who did theater and played music and are great actors and writers. And so I've kind of always been around that performing, and I did theater and improv my whole life. And started making videos and stuff in college, and met Rocky and Jake and Alex and Chris. We were all on an improv team in college together. I think everyone knows that by now, though. But I've always loved science. Body's cool. I don't regret my degree because I know how my own body works, which is like tight. But I really loved neurology, and I was like, oh, maybe that'd be fun for grad school. And then I was like, that's a lot of work to do something that I don't really want to work in, but I'm just very interested in. Because the brain is freaking tight, and you're never going to know enough about it because it's always evolving, and we're always learning new things. And neurology is crazy because in a way, you're just taking a class about yourself, which is wild. To be like, my brain is reading these words about my brain. And then, yeah, you know. So I liked what I studied. I just didn't, I did internships and such, and I decided I didn't want to do it professionally because it didn't fill my bucket the same way that performing did, because I just really love making people laugh, and that's like what makes me feel like a person. There's nothing better or more fulfilling to me than making a person laugh. So, and somehow putting ice on backs that are healing didn't do the same thing for me. So, crazy. But, you know, again, I loved what I studied, and I got to go to school and meet the weirdos that I do this show with now. So that's very fun. You know? Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it's crazy how much we still don't know about neurology. I love what you said about making people laugh. Thanks. It's how I really feel. I'm being honest with you guys. Didn't like them giving you the cold shoulder. Exactly. Precisely. I'm starting with the E before the H because I had less thread. So, also there's no rules, so I can do this however I want. So, yeah. Yeah. Has anyone learned anything horrible about themselves in quarantine? No? Okay. How about any skills? Is anyone making bread? Is anyone learning a new skill? Like Rocky with Photoshop? Expectantly. I don't know what the delay is like on this, but it feels very odd to talk to myself and talk to a screen. Because I don't want to just be silently stitching. I learned that I spend way too much time worrying about my neighbors during quarantine. Oh, why do you worry about your neighbors? Are they old? If not, that's very sweet of you. Tough crowd, right? Thanks, Pristine Banana. Oh no, I think I know who that is. Also, the stream is stuttering for me. Uh-oh. Not in a good way. Oh no. I'm sorry. I hope they're okay. And I'm glad they have you as a neighbor to worry about them, but not if you're not doing anything for them, because then that's bad. Because then you're just worrying, but you're not helping. Okay, finish the... tie this off. Uh-oh, uh-oh. People were talking. Let me go back. I want to see what you said. Okay. Like, who's in my woods? Who put crap in my recycling bins and pissed off the bin man? That's good. You know what? That is not to brag, but I play guitar really well. Like, really well. Sick. It is what it is, LOL. But I'll tell you something. If I could trade that to be able to make people laugh, and I mean really laugh, I would do it in a heartbeat. What a joy to make people feel better that way. I feel the same way. But hey, playing guitar and playing music can have the same healing effect for people, so I don't know if you still want to trade it, but that's up to you. You can make the deal with the devil in the moonlight later. What kind of style do you play? Do you like... If you tell me country, I'm going to be really mad, though. I bought a bag of potato and who's parking at my beach when I come down to go fishing. Yeah, F that noise. I also live in a beach town, and I'm like, why are you parking in my neighborhood? I bought a bag of potatoes to make pierogies, but pierogies don't actually take many potatoes, so I've learned about every recipe that involves potatoes in the last week or two. I love that. I saw a joke on Twitter, I can't take credit for this, that said cooking in quarantine is every day is like an episode of Chopped, and that made me laugh really hard because I'm doing the same thing where I'm like, oh, F, we bought so much of this one thing, like, now what do I do with it? So I lament. I've put beans in so many recipes. So many panic bot beans. You should make Hasselback potatoes if you haven't. That's fun. Or you should try to like make a bloomin' onion out of a potato. I think that would be a really great use of your time. And we have another letter done. So great work, guys. You guys are doing amazing at this. That's the biggest true. It made me laugh really hard. You ever read jokes that you're like mad that you didn't think of? I think that was for sure one for me. So I was like, dang it, that is so funny. I'm really excited to start on the gun. I might just start on the gun first. Don't read into that, please. We did it. You guys, again, you guys are doing amazing. You're fantastic at this. I'm a blues man, so a lot of lead solo stuff. Rad. I find I can accommodate most styles. My humor is so lame, but the few times I can make someone laugh, especially when they are down. Ooh, I wish I could do that more. Preaching to the choir, bud. And do you tell jokes when you tune your guitar to fill time? That's a great bit. Ooh, bloomin' potato sounds amazing because bloomin' onion is my favorite snack. I'm sorry, bloomin' onion is your favorite snack? So whenever you just get a hankering, do you go to an Outback Steakhouse and you're just like, bloomin' onion to go, please, thank you. And they're like, Lil Uzi Nate, we know it's you. You just have to show up at the front door and we'll have one for you. I went into the office today. I talked to 3 strangers. Holy cow. I'm so proud of you. That's great. Look at you. You did so much today. I hope you were safe, though. That's odd. I was just giving my sister my bloomin' onion recipe. It looks like we got some group mind going on here. That's pretty fantastic. Tapping into something unknown. And then it's that bloomin' onions are on everyone's mind, which honestly, don't blame them. Alright, starting on the gun, because I want to. I was going to do a loop stitch, which basically looks like a rodeo thing for the gun, but I think I'm just going to do it straight. Appetizer? I can't wait to call it. I never get to go to steakhouses because I don't eat meat. Preach. Me neither. And only steakhouses serve bloomin' onions, so it's a rare delicacy. Understood. But you do feel like a covert officer because you're like, I don't like a lot of what's happening in here. Are you a blood? Trying to keep my social skills up. Not a blood. Just a white woman who once shopped at Madewell and was like, ooh, that's pretty. I am a casual cowboy, thank you. And that's a long thread. I don't play in bands much, sadly. I don't get that thrill that musicians get playing live, so I never went for it. Huh, that's interesting. But I get it. Do you remember the first time you really made a person or a group laugh where you recognized it might be a gift? I think I made my friends laugh a lot at recess in elementary school, just because I was like a weird kid, goofy. So that was always really fun to make my friends laugh because I find that so much more satisfying. Making strangers laugh is fun, but like making your friends laugh somehow feels like I got you. So making my friends laugh, and then like I said, I grew up with 2 older brothers, and I have and my older brothers are the funniest people I know, and I like everyone in my family is just ridiculously funny, and none of them work in comedy, which is the biggest tragedy. And so growing up with very silly cousins and brothers who we all just were very silly and wrote plays and tried to make our parents laugh. That was the environment I grew up in, so that was always really fun. But I think there was a moment in middle school where there was like a drama class and they taught us improv. And I remember doing improv and like learning you could just make stuff up and making my classmates laugh. And I was like, oh, this is great. This is great. This is so much fun. And I watched a ton of Whose Line Is It Anyway when I was growing up. Wayne Brady was my god, and continues to be. So that was like, and a lot of like SNL and stuff growing up, like every kid did, if your parents let you. But there was we don't perform live very much anymore because we do this show, but we've done like a couple improv shows where we live when friends have invited us and such as a team. And we did one, and it was my first time performing live after doing the show for several months and having not performed improv live in a really long time. And I remember I was like that we were performing, and there was a dude in the front row who I said something dumb, and he was just like, he was like visibly just like shaking and laughing and like having like physical reactions and laughing to things that I was saying. And I was like, oh, right. Like, that's why I do this. This is the best ever, to make someone feel like that. And then, I don't know, we probably did something dumb on stage, but that's part of improv, baby. That's interesting. Making friends laugh really does it for you. Your family all funny is kind of part of my next question. Do you find yourself or many people or many funny people that there is a real difference between making friends laugh in a social setting versus making people laugh on stage or film? I don't know if I've asked, honestly. I don't know if I have asked my friends or my family, like, what does it for them. My brothers both don't do comedy. Again, like, it's a great shame that my brothers and my cousins don't do comedy because they're hilarious. But I guess I've never really asked my friends that question. If they prefer to like make friends or strangers laugh, I'll have to phone a friend and ask them how they feel about that. I don't know. I don't know why that always just felt more satisfying to me. All right, we're starting on this gun, baby. We're doing it. Do you find a difference? Does your humor translate seamlessly in all mediums? I think it transfers. I mean, I think the same jokes that make my friends laugh make strangers laugh. I think that, like, I love improv, I love sketch, I love dumb videos on Twitter and Instagram. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the person that I ask that question to, but I think it transfers. I don't know. How do I feel when I hear a laugh track? I hate it, especially when it's in response to me saying something, because that means the voices in my head are getting stronger. I've heard so many comedians say that they're the least funny member of their family. I am also that. My brothers are way funny, and how their brains work is upsetting. But again, my oldest brother is a playwright in New York City, and then my middle brother is a musician in New York City. So we all took different paths. We all walk the same road, just on different sides. That's encouraging. Thank you. I live to encourage. Yeah, I have two cousins in San Francisco who have, as an adult woman, made me pee my pants laughing, and that's not an exaggeration. I was on a beach and they made me pee my pants laughing, which only made them try harder to make me laugh. And how they tell stories, and I'm a horrible storyteller. I think it's because I have a very, very bad memory and I forget to tell things in sequential order. That's because I had 2 head injuries, but that's fine. My two cousins in San Francisco, like I said, funniest people I know. Like, how their brains work is an absolute mystery to me, and I love seeing them, and they're essentially just extended siblings to me, and anytime I get to see them, I barely talk just because I want to listen to them. So that's me. That's my family. Laugh tracks are great because how do I know to laugh if the people around me aren't telling me to? I heard that Ellen DeGeneres, like, if you go, which I think everyone knows by now, that she's a horrible monster to her staff, like, and apparently when you go see the Ellen DeGeneres show, like, the producers tell you, if you're in the audience, like, you have to laugh at everything Ellen says. You have to. It's like, I don't like being told to do anything, so call my cousins on Zoom. Not a bad idea. They would roast me so hard. They'd be like, streaming? And then they'd say something funnier than I could think of right now. What am I stabbing? Hey, Elias. That's my roommate. Hi, I'm doing a Twin Peaks embroidery, Elias. And I'm just kind of talking to everyone, working on the Bang Bang Bar sign. And that's what I'm physically stabbing. But what I'm getting at emotionally with stabbing this over and over is just a greater sense of control. Find a nice way to tell him he wasn't... Wait, I missed what you said. Mike Myers used to say that he'd joke that his family tried to find a nice way to tell him he wasn't as funny as he thought. So they all laughed up in front of his mom, and he said, "Would everyone who's funny please step forward? Not so fast, Michael." That's a great story. Oh my god. Harriet, sweet Harriet. So the Ellen rumors are true? Yeah, they are very true. Could really use a cup of Joe and diner pie. Yeah, I got a damn fine cup of coffee here. It's iced, but still damn fine. And it's not black, but I'm not Agent Cooper, so that's fine with me. Yes, I get a kick out of that. I got a kick out of that too. Yeah, that's really good. Huh? I love being humbled. I love your family humbling you. I like some John Oliver bits from his show, but the clips he did from home without the laugh track and the audience cheers are so hard to watch. Yeah, but I think it gets to be overkill. But I mean, I think I'm speaking specifically about laugh tracks and sitcoms. It's like I don't, and I know that was just how it used to be. But oh, I watched a clip of Friends with the laugh track edited out, and it is painful. I have also never seen Friends beginning to end. I've only seen maybe one full episode of Friends in my life, and I don't want to start now. Sorry. Warm up comedian is the real hero. That's true. They have to start cold, and nobody came to see them. That is very true. My heart goes out to them. But friend of the show and friend of life, Hannah Einbinder, who we were all in an improv team with in college, though I don't think she'd want us to tell you that. She just opened for Colbert. And she, oh my God, her bit was so freaking funny. I love her brain. So you can go see that. And everyone laughed at it, which is what you want. Are there articles on this Ellen stuff I can read? I think so. I think you can Google it, like, is Ellen a monster? And I know a lot of people have been talking about it right now on Twitter. So yes, that's what it's called. So I think it's like a pretty relevant topic on Twitter right now. If you go a searching, we'll use it. John Oliver Son's audience is better if you smoke weed. Another amazing point. Another astounding point. Okay, we're kicking with gas. Now we're going. We're gonna chug-a-lug through this. I like embroidery because it's something you can do with like your ADD hands when you're watching TV, so that you don't feel like such a piece of crap for just hitting next over and over. Oof. Lias Kim, everything is more funny after you smoke weed, including things that kind of suck. Also true. I told this story recently, but I'm gonna tell it again. I don't smoke a lot of weed because I am naturally a very paranoid person. And I don't know if you know this, but drugs don't help that. But the only good 420 I've ever had in college, my college had scheduled an alien abductee to give a talk on our college campus on 420. So like they knew exactly what they were doing, right? And I got very stoned, and don't tell my mom. And I went and saw this guy talk, and he had an opener for him. And the opener for the alien abductee was a stand-up comedian who had also been abducted by aliens. So he was like doing stand-up about being abducted by aliens. And I remember being like stoned out of my gourd, just like laughing, not at him, but just laughing about two things. I have a note in my phone that just says, this guy's like the John Gosselin of alien abductees, because he was wearing a bunch of True Religion. And I was like, this man is like very attractive to a very like specific subsect of women, and it's not me. And then, and then the guy who we were all there to see talk, he apparently has one of the most like detailed accounts of being abducted by an alien. And so much so that they made a movie about it starring a very, very young Paul Rudd. And so this guy is talking about his experience getting abducted and he's talking about it in relation to the movie that was made. So he was like playing clips from this alien abduction movie, which was made with a very young Paul Rudd. Like I can't get over that fact. And the clips from the movie would play, and he'd pause it, and he'd be like, well, Hollywood had to take some liberties with this part, but I get it. You gotta appeal to the people. And like he also played like interviews with the cast where the cast was very earnestly, including again a very young Paul Rudd, the cast was very earnestly trying to be like, yeah, I really believe him, I really think this happened, and he's so detailed. Like they were trying so hard to like be very tactful and be very kind to this man. But and do I know who it was? I can't remember who it was for the life of me. But after that talk, I went home and I watched Inception, and I was like, I understand. I watched Inception again, very stand, and I was like, oh, I get it. I get what this movie's about. I get it for the first time ever. So, that's fun. I love alien stuff, and marijuana makes HA aliens so much more believable. Agreed. And funny. That's a really good comedy. Yeah. Fire in the Sky, right? Yes, that's actually it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Fire in the Sky was the name of the movie that was made. That's crazy. Thank you for either Googling, or if you knew that just off the top of your dome, like, great work. Great work. I'm going to start a Letterboxd page, and it's just going to be me reviewing Fire in the Sky on different drugs. Does that sound good? Don't tell my mom. Okay, we're going around the barrel of the gun. I knew it. I have seen a ton of movies. That's great. I have not seen any movies. Speaking of campus guest speakers, the campus next to mine had a cop that inspired Black Klansman. Come and give a talk. Pretty cool. Oh my god. It was not. Was it not President Doty? It was not Doty. Holy cow. That's horrible. I mean, if it makes you feel better, the college I went to had who's the wormy looking guy with black hair that we all hate, who's like an InfoWars guy? That guy spoke at our at the business school at my college's commencement, which was horrifying. I had a shitty job. I saw a lot of movies. Did you watch movies at your job? What allowed you to watch so many movies, or was it your job to watch shitty movies? Sounds like a very chill job. Obama made the Bronx gay. No, it wasn't Alex Jones. Ben Shapiro. That's who it was. Okay. Yeah, the business school invited Ben Shapiro to give the commencement. I was, again, not in the business school. Yep, we watched movies while there were no customers, and man, were there few customers. That's awesome. Hey, good workout, buddy. It's me, Sydney, from the Everything Now show, and I'm doing a Twin Peaks embroidery. Fun. Having a lot of fun. Just for fun, because I liked the Bang Bang Bar sign. Go Bears. Love it. Love you. Love you, pal. Do. The last season of Twin Peaks is pretty weird. Yeah, it's very weird. And I don't know if I'm enjoying it. I don't love the Dougie stuff. I don't love that Cooper is stuck as Dougie, and it's actually really bothering me. I just want him to be Cooper again, and he's stuck in this Dougie body, and it's not my favorite part of the show, and I get that he's kind of just stuck that way for the rest of the season. Ew, Ben Shapiro came to Chapman. Did you not know that? That was, I think, the year after I graduated, so I'll still keep the hat I got, though. Yeah, I gotta keep the hat. The dad hat we all got for graduation. Okay, I'm gonna dip out, Sid. Miss you. Bye, Elias. Yeah, Elias is in here. Say hi to Bowie for me. I miss you guys. That's my roommate, for anyone who doesn't know. Steve says hi. I'll come back soon. Yeah, I gotta finish painting the bathroom that I started painting. Alright, we're coming around the bend. Coming around the bend horn. Like from Twin Peaks. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, Bobo says hey. Yay! Bowie is the cat the very fat cat that lives at our house. And boy, is he handsome. Chip says hey too. Hi, Chip! Good roomies. They're good boys. Uh-oh. What happened? Sometimes the thread gets wonky. Not today, Satan. Okay. I'm more than halfway done. Okay? We're coming around. I always forget how time consuming this is, but how satisfying it is when you finish. A job well done. Mm-mm-mm. It's weird to be streaming in the day and streaming by myself. I miss everyone. I miss doing shows in the studio. I don't know about you guys. It's been fun though, like trying to think of the look you have right now makes me think you're Australian. Thank you so much. But no, tragically not. My name is Sydney though. Again, no one offers to pay for me to go to Sydney, Australia, but close enough. Yeah, I miss doing shows in the studio, but it's been fun kind of pushing ourselves creatively to think of shows to do where we can call in remotely. It's definitely weird though. Just, not being able to see and interact with people in person. But I loved the trucker radio one. That one I think was by far our best. Because presentations you can do remote. Good Morning Now was really fun to call in as the chef who only made water based products like ice and a glass of water. But the trucker one I think by far was our best one recently. Maybe it's that one picture? Maybe. This is what the back of it looks like. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? There's people who can do like crazy realism with embroidery, but I've never been a painter or a drawer or anything, so the idea of doing any kind of shading blows my mind, and I'd rather not. So I do a lot of just line work stuff. There's actually one right there that I did for my boyfriend. I did this one for Christmas for him. Lily Girl was the name of his first boat. So it's a little homage to Lily Girl. Okay, back to Big Bang Bar. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. If I had to guess, I'd probably say that Laura Palmer is like a Scorpio, a messy Scorpio. And Donna is clearly a Virgo. Cooper, don't even get me started on his Sagittarius. I know nothing about astrology. I know what I am, and that's about all I need to know about astrology. Okay. Coming through. Coming through. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. I do love all the weird parts of Twin Peaks, though. I do love all the Black Lodge stuff and the Bob stuff, and to think that all came out and was made in the 90s. Makes perfect sense why it was not accepted readily and why it had to simmer a bit. Astrology is just racism for women. That is very funny. Discounting people before you know them just because of their birthday. Like, they didn't pick that. It's not their fault. I stole that joke. That's fine. It made me laugh. Thank you for sharing it with me. Okay. Okay. A lot of people steal jokes, don't worry about it. I was one time at an open mic, and as an avid internet user, I go through Twitter, and a guy got up there and told a joke that our friend Julie had written that day on Twitter. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy that this guy, one, follows Julie, because who shouldn't follow Julie? She's the funniest person ever. And two, that he said it on stage. And so I just went up to him afterwards and I was like, hey, like, next time you're going to steal jokes, like, at least try to deliver them funnier. It's like, he was like, what? I don't know what you mean. It's like, yeah, you do. You fucking piece of... And that killed him. No, it's fine. I just have a very strong sense of justice, so I had to call him out. Damn, roasted, exactly. Can't roast a roaster. I wonder who would be at a roast of everything now. Probably the Uncle Joe show. And Seth Rogen, because he's at all of the roasts. Or Moshe Kasher. Moshe Kasher is another really good comedian. Same with his wife, Natasha Leggero. If you don't know who they are, please look them up. We're almost done with this gun. It's so close. But now there's a knot in my thread. This is annoying. Who did that? It surely couldn't have been me. Not my own thread. Dang it. Can I pull it through? I got a little bubble that's popping up right there, and I don't want it. Not one bit. Is anyone here a member of the DAR? I'm not embarrassed to admit when I don't know something, so what is the DAR? The Democratic Action Rifles. Nope. The diminutive accessory rodents. The Dharma Alarmist Radiators. It's a good band name. You've almost got it. You've got the right initials down. Thanks. Good workout, buddy. The doll. Auxiliary. Some rhymes. Not my best. I'm part of the Dharma Initiative, if that's what you're asking. Lil using it, you might know what you're talking about. Okay. And we got a gun. Hey. Nice. We got a gun, much like most of the state of Oklahoma. Let's finish that the. I was gonna try and play Neopets, but I don't think I have the right streaming abilities on my laptop. But I might try to figure that out next time I have to be by myself. Play some Neopets. We can make a Neopet together. Okay, finishing up the H. I feel like this is very odd to just have people watching me stitch. Granted, not a whole lot, but I was like, is this even a good idea? Is this I might try and do a roller skating stream. I'm trying to figure that out. Because I am a roller skater, if anyone didn't know. And I wouldn't be able to bring my laptop, but I can stream off of my phone. So I would just set my phone up and practice tricks and then skate over and talk for a minute and then go back to practicing tricks and then go back. Can I lease a rink? Not right now, I don't think. Everywhere's pretty much closed. But I've been going to a lot of elementary school parking lots, which makes me look very normal and cool. There used to be a roller rink in my hometown and it shut down. That was the best. It's Friday night skates, that's what everyone did in middle school. It's where people kissed, but don't tell your moms. I think the theme of this show is don't tell your mom. That's tragic. I know. It was really sad. It was very down-to-earth, homeschooled fun. I'm not homeschooled, but I think a lot of homeschool kids went there to socialize. I had a really interesting conversation with a person from 6 feet away today. I'm heading out. It was great to hang with you and chat. Bye, Kevin! It's good talking with you. Have a good one. I ran into a friend on a walk this morning, and she's a teacher, and she was saying how she's obviously laid off because schools are closed, but how a lot of parents are going to switch to homeschooling their kids, which I don't want to offend. I don't know if the homeschooling program is as effective as teacher programs, but that's just my uneducated opinion, I think. But she said she thinks a lot of people are going to switch over to homeschooling, so I'm like, how's that going to affect our general education system in this country? I don't know if it's going to do a whole lot of good. I broke the thread, so I have to rethread my needle while it's still attached. And if anyone was homeschooled here, like, please school me wrong. But I just thought that was very interesting byproduct of everything that's happening right now. And you wish drive-in theaters were more popular still? Me too. I wish there was a place that we could just absolutely encroach upon teens making out in their cars. Not enough of that these days, you know? Unless you go to Makeout Point. About to run out of thread on this. So it's time to duel. I don't know about you guys, but most of the Everything Now, I think all of the Everything Now crew except for Alex lost their jobs through this, so we've just been home a lot. That's why we're all streaming so much. But it's fun. We've been wanting to connect more with our audience, and we get so few chances to do it because we're always in freaking character. So it's nice to get to know you folks a little better. I was about to say, whatever happened to Makeout Point type things? Did most towns actually have one, or was it a meme? I think it was like kind of those legends that every kid has in high school about like one kid in particular that somehow every school had. Makeout Point was another one where it's like, is there a place where teens actually go make out? Probably not. We had a place in our town called like Top of the World, and I guess that was kind of a makeout point for us. Like, but I don't think it was ever actually real. Like, because people would be like, oh, like they went to top of the world, and it was basically just this really beautiful part on top of a big hill in our town where you saw like all of the ocean and everything. But that never actually happened. Nice girls don't sit in parked cars with boys. That's what I'm stitching next. I'm gonna stitch that onto a pillow. Nice girls don't sit in parked cars with boys. It's very true. I wonder how much of like Americana is fabricated because of movies and everything. So like make out points and fast food. No, I don't know. Just because a lot of things are fabricated from movies and it influences culture. So it's like, was there actually make out points, or was there just a lot of movies and TV shows about them? Be good for a steering wheel cover. Or like take an air freshener and put that on there. That'd be funny. Make a sticker that says that. A bumper sticker. Okay, we're gonna finish up this H, and then I think I'm gonna go for the day. But maybe I'll save the other half of this for the next time I stream. A little cliffhanger. My thread is getting all funky again. And again, this is how we're doing so far. Great. It's funny, I have a friend who has the gun and the bang bang tattooed on him. I remember thinking it was the coolest tattoo and not knowing where it was from. And then he told me it was Twin Peaks, and I was like, oh, somehow that's more and less cool at the same time to me. That it's in reference to something. And here I am stitching it. You guys have any weird tattoos? Or tattoos you're really proud of? Okay. Here we go. We're going up the hill. Give you guys this. I wish I had like an overhead cam so that I could look and talk and then also have it, have this in the corner, but again, I do not have all of the tech at this house. And we come back down. Here we go. Coming down. All right. And we have got an H as of right. Meow. Woohoo! Alrighty, gonna tie that up. Basically just finishing it off with a knot. And here is what I did today. I have the gun. That classic sign from Twin Peaks, the gun. And there's the back. And I think I'll save this for maybe another time so that we have a project that we can work on together. So speaking of lynch, have you ever seen Rabbits? My friend refused to finish it because they say it freaks him out. Ooh. That sounds like my exact kind of movie. So, maybe I'll try and watch that before the next one. Because this is my first foray into Lynch. I really like it, but I haven't seen any of his other work, so I gotta dive fully into the pool. Um, but thanks for hanging out with me in the middle of the day, guys. I'm gonna go, but nice talking to you guys out of character, and have a good Friday.